I predicted that the Seattle Seahawks would go 6-11 in 2021 and finish last in the NFC West. Now, obviously, I was totally wrong because they didn't go 6-11. No, they went 7-10. And and they did finish last in the NFC West. Oh, yeah. I got it wrong by one game, but my gosh, I want to give myself a massive pat on the back. I predicted Seattle would go 6-11, have a bad year, would not be a Super Bowl contender, and oh my goodness, I got so much hate and anger and vitriol. I was alone on an island, and I had Seahawks fans literally yelling at me, "We're gonna win a Super Bowl! How dare you!" I want to be careful here. I don't want to be mean. That's not what's in my heart. I really, despite, so I don't understand all the anger. I said something people didn't agree with. They were mad that I predicted their team to have a bad year. And it's okay to believe in your team, but I don't understand attacking me. Like, you can believe in your team without attacking me. I never understood the Seattle Seahawks fans' reaction to my prediction. It didn't attack you as a person. I said that your football team is going to have a bad year. It's very weird to me. And here's what I said. I said this was probably the worst roster ever put around Russell Wilson. I stand by that. Having a Hall of Fame quarterback is not enough to win in the NFL. In 2018, Aaron Rodgers and Green Bay went 6-9-1. You can't just have a quarterback and a couple good players and expect to win and be a playoff team. You need more than a quarterback. And you know the game I got wrong, really? Like, the only game, the reason why I had them at 6-11 instead of 7-10 is I thought that the Colts were going to beat Seattle week 1. And yeah, look, I had some help. 6-11, didn't get there without, hey, Russell Wilson got hurt. He missed 3 games, so he had a hurt finger on his throwing hand. Sure, that definitely helped out, right? And they went 1-2 without him. They beat Pittsburgh in New Orleans. Sorry, they lost to Pittsburgh in New Orleans, and they beat Jacksonville without Russell Wilson. It was like 31-7, something like that, with Geno Smith at quarterback. So, to me, I think even with the injury, which a lot of people are like, you were only right because of the injury. And that's, hey, you can believe whatever you want. In my opinion, I was 1,000% right about Seattle because the point in predicting them going 6-11 was that this is not a good football team. They weren't going to make the playoffs. They were going to have a bad year. The overall theme of the year, nailed it. Totally right. Seattle's a lot closer to the Jets or Atlanta than they are to Kansas City or Green Bay. They've got like 5 good players in Seattle. They've got Russell Wilson. They've got DK Metcalf, Tyler Lockett, Bobby Wagner, and Jamal Adams. That's it. Like that, how many players really are you like, oh, hell yeah, I love this guy in Seattle? And I think it's totally inappropriate the way Russ Wilson is expected to carry the roster and carry this team in Seattle. By the way, even with Russ playing, they still lost to Taylor Heineke and Washington. They still lost to the Bears with Nick Foles at quarterback. Like, don't tell me, oh, we're such a good team. You lost to the Bears with Nick Foles. Sorry, I'm not that convinced. And to me, the point is made that having a couple talented players does not mean you have a good football team. And I think actually instead of attacking people like me who are critical of their team, Seattle fans need to use their energy to demand better from the front office. Like, if I'm a Seahawks fan, I'm like, hey, guys, why are we yelling at this guy? Can we yell at our front office and say, hey, can we finally build an offensive line? Can we build a defensive line? Seattle has a Hall of Fame quarterback, Russell Wilson, and it feels like their fan base takes him for granted because they've been wasting the prime of his career. And I don't know how you can defend that. Like, if you really love something, what you should do is demand more from it. I always say all the time, like, one of my favorite companies is Nintendo, and they made this game console called the Wii U that was awful. Like, I'm not buying this garbage. I love Nintendo games. I love Mario. I love Zelda. I love all this stuff. I love Metroid. But I'm like, I'm not buying this piece of crap. Like, I'm going to vote with my wallet, and because I believe in them, because I want good from Nintendo, I'm not going to support them when they do bad stuff. How can you support what's going on in Seattle? Again, if you're a Seahawks fan, maybe once in your lifetime, you're going to have a quarterback like Russell Wilson lead your football team. And you're wasting the best years of his career. I don't even know how, that's debatable. You got Russ at quarterback. You should not have a losing record. You shouldn't be last in your division. Sure, the NFC West is loaded, but hey, Seattle has the best quarterback in the division. And then also the worst football team. Demand more from your football team. That's what I'm saying here. You got to demand more from your organization, Seattle fans. And by the way, what if you lost Russ? What would you have then? I was totally right about the 2021 Seattle Seahawks. The point isn't to get it. I mean, I'd love to be like, hey, I predicted 7-10, they went 7-10. 6-11. The point is that they're a bad football team. They had a bad year. And if anything, if the silver lining is anything in Seattle this year, it's that maybe, hopefully, changes are coming. And I think they're going to hold on to Russell Wilson. They, so far, have decided to not fire Pete Carroll. Black Monday came and went. It's been a week now. It's like, well, yeah, it seems like you're just going to stick with him, which is interesting and exciting to me. I don't think Pete Carroll overnight suddenly became a bad football coach, right? They just need to build a better roster. And the most important thing, build the offensive line and build the defensive line. You win football games up front at the line of scrimmage. And, man, by the way, having a weaker secondary gets massively helped by having a good defensive line that gets pressure on a quarterback. Because if you're getting pressure on a quarterback with a four-man rush, if they got to get the ball out of their hands very, very quickly. And unfortunately, I don't know the path to building a good defensive line in Seattle. I don't know the path to really bolstering their offensive line, but something has to change. And hopefully this bad year in Seattle, 7-10, is the kind of wake-up call that's needed in Seattle for them to go, oh, yeah, we shouldn't be going 7-10. We shouldn't be last in our division. We got to make changes to our roster so that we don't waste the best years of Russell Wilson's career.